Norfolk Disabled Parents is run by and for disabled parents in Norfolk. We stand for choice, support and equality for all disabled parents and their families. In the following videos, parents share the problems and pleasures of being a disabled parent in Norfolk.
One in 7 parents are disabled. They may have physical or sensory impairments, learning difficulties or mental health issues. They find barriers in the environment and in social attitudes that make it harder to succeed in their parenting role.
Just after my little girl was born, the staff at the hospital were brilliant. I have no complaints. They made sure I had a room of my own, so I was able to move around that room and do the necessary things. And I had an exceptionally good midwife who had sort of filled in the gaps before I got there. But before I got that good midwife, I had a horrible one who immediately said social services would need to be informed. And I said, no, they don't. And she said, they do because you're blind and I don't know if you'll know if your child's bottom is clean. I actually said to their senior, I don't want that midwife anymore. I want a different one. And she gave me a choice. And the midwife I had was, like I say, extremely good. When we were talking about the actual birth of my little girl, she gave me lots of choices and I didn't know the availability of those choices. But she guided me to what would suit me at the time. And it went quite smoothly once I'd got a good midwife. I would say think carefully about the things around you and what you want, and think about your needs and your child's needs, and ask questions. Don't always accept what someone said if you're not happy with it.
As regards to sort of helping managing my daughter when she was younger, I was able to do most things. If I had to generally do things at my level rather than on the floor. When she was sort of toddling around, what I found a very effective way was I used to play with her in one room with the door closed. When I was expecting my daughter, I came up against a lot of people's opinions that some of them were professional, which I felt a bit uncomfortable about. There's like, I had it said to me once that if I was to have a child, I would have to keep them on a piece of elastic. I don't think people know you, obviously, as much as you know yourself. And it's surprising what you can do, you know, yourself, even if you have to adapt.
As you can see, I've got a long-term health condition called ME. And it means that I have like a hidden disability that in all kind of shapes, and that I look probably as normal as anybody else. Unfortunately, how that affects my life, that I can get very tired and be in quite a bit of pain and have kind of short-term memory problems. And when I am ill like that, I don't go out. And, you know, it makes life difficult because you're forever having to plan. You don't have any spontaneity as such. Which is hard because when you've got a son and you want to be able to do things, you don't always want to have to plan everything. You know, when I'm at home and if I'm cooking, we cook in big batches, so I have my microwave meals at home, so that if I am ill, that we can all eat, you know, good home-cooked food. If you've got a condition which goes up and down, what I've been told by a specialist is you've got to think of yourself as a battery. And when you take too much energy, then you've got to sit down and kind of store up the battery and the energy again to go forward. And initially, when I first lost my sight, I went through a period where I felt I couldn't do anything. I thought, right, that's it, I can't see. I'm not going to be able to read it. It's not going to be easy to go anywhere. I'm just not going to be able to do things unless someone else comes with me. So the independent mummy that went out with my younger daughter to start with suddenly wasn't quite the mummy she'd got anymore. They understand basic bits that mummy can't read a letter if it comes through. I can't see what's happening on the television. But that's all they've ever known, and it's very much part of their life. And because now I've come to terms with my sight loss and had a lot of support, really good support from rehabilitation workers, and basically in my mind got my life back and got my independence back and learned how to do things in a different way to I had before. And to realise for myself that you can still do anything you want to do. You've just got to find a different way to do it. And sometimes I think it's very easy to blame everything on your, in my instance, visual impairment. This is happening because I'm visually impaired. If I wasn't visually impaired, you know, things would be much better, things would be easier, and when you look at it in perspective and talk to other parents, it's just actually what family life is like. And so sometimes I think as disabled parents we can put ourselves down, feel inadequate, but it's really because we're focusing on our visual impairment when actually it's just how family life is.
It's been a huge help having a DLA because it's given me a bit of independence as well, because I didn't have any money of my own, but it's also increased our family economic situation, and it means that I can actually get bits of help to help my husband, who is my carer as well. He's in full-time work, so having DLA also gives us the opportunity to have a bit of money to do things that would fall on him, not always in terms of money, but also in terms of time and stress, frankly, for him.
When I'm so disabled, I can't have a role in day-to-day living. But I think as long as we can talk to each other or share things, that's really important. I would say to enjoy your children every day and don't be afraid to ask for help. There is help out there, and if you ask for it, people are really happy to help you.
I think the main thing is to just to communicate. It is an amazing thing, and just realising, just looking at your situation and realising the situation you're in and having a raw honesty about that and being open with, the children and, the outside people, about that. It's a really positive thing to do.